Guys, welcome to Facebook Live with Elfie Training this afternoon. As we've seen advertised, it's a session with our moving and handling trainers. We've come together today to do a standardisation activity with quite a few of our moving and handling trainers who join me here today. So I hope we know me. I'm Talia, and I've spent the week teaching hopefully quite a few people who are tuned in today. Please comment and say hi. Richard's holding the camera in case you were questioning that. And let's meet the team who's here with me.
Hello, my name's Neil. I've been with Elfie now, or at least Affinities to begin with, for close to 18 months. A lot of trainer courses.
Super. Thanks, Neil. Next to Neil.
I'm Andrew Potts. I've been with Elfie just over a year, doing lots of moving and handling, trainer, dementia training, MCA dolls, etc.
Super. Thanks, Andrew. And?
Hi, I'm Ian. I've been with the company just over a year. Again, quite a wide variety of training, but I am one of the manual handling trainers.
Super. Thanks very much, guys. Okay, so we've been here today and we've been talking about the things that we're doing in our moving and handling trainer course. And one of the real key things for us is to ensure that our trainers are teaching with passion when we're disseminating that information, and we're going down to we're teaching staff in their homes to then teach others about moving and handling, getting that passion for moving and handling. So I'm kind of interested in what your drivers are in why we work in where we're working now, why you like teaching moving and handling, that sort of thing, guys. Who wants to open us up here?
It's just making sure that the people we're teaching have got that necessary passion and skill level to then transmute that information throughout their services, so they're better looking after and supporting the people that they care for in their homes.
Fab, thanks. Andrew, anything else, anybody else wants to add in there?
I'd like to say that I want to make sure that everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet. Mm-hmm. We're not all teaching different things. Everybody's got the same thing, and we're teaching the right thing. So that nobody's getting hurt, especially ourselves in a way. Mm-hmm. But of course, we have to look after our patients and residents.
Definitely. Ian, anything you wanted to add here?
Yeah, just to promote the safety of residents, promote the safety of staff. If you know the right way to do things, then you're going to keep people safe. And what's really important for me is if there's anything that you're unsure of, you should always ask, because then we can make sure that people are safe.
I think there's a lot, isn't there, that links straight into our subjects like safeguarding and the other things that we're really covering from day dot of our recruitment, where we look at that values-based recruitment and we think about that moving and handling links in with all of those things. If I'm not doing moving and handling right, then actually the well-being of the people I'm working with isn't as positive as it should be. We can end up getting pressure sores, becoming ill in other ways. So really important that we're getting that moving and handling to a good standard. And it's interesting, Neil said obviously doing the same thing as each other. Definitely. So we've been discussing today, we've been looking at some research, we've taken part in some research called Portfolio of Evidence Techniques. So we've been doing some research into what we sampled was the assisted stand and how we would do that, and then looking at the potential for injury for either the handler or the patient or client for that movement, which has been quite interesting because of course the four of us, we all highlight different things in our training. You know, there are different things that come up because of our backgrounds in our health and social care, because of our passions that are really important. For example, I know, Andrew, with your background in dementia, you take a lot on communicating well with the client and choosing different words and things. Is there anything that you can feed in here? Yeah,
and as well as looking after the safety and security of people we care for, it's also about building on that relationship, so that the person we're supporting, that they are trusting us, they feel safe, they feel secure when we're assisting them to move, assisting them to stand, for example. Mm-hmm. And communication-wise, it's about thinking sometimes outside the box, that if a person doesn't understand the way what you've asked them to do, it's about thinking how can we rephrase the question, use different words, a different setup, utilise body language, so to transmit the information that you want them to do a certain thing or to move in a certain manner. Definitely. And this, doing everything in the same way, quite often when we're on a training course, we show the generic, this is the assisted stand, yeah? We're working with the person who's got capacity, who's got compliance, yeah? They're not about to lash out. Let's see how that works, let's practice that move,
and then we can start to talk about your specific examples. And there's always those interesting examples that come up in our classes, and things that we haven't really thought about before. If you guys come across anything like that before, you can share with us. Just having a think here myself. Yeah.
Different capacities of the carers more than anything else. And their sizes. I mean, how tall is somebody? How short is somebody? As against the weight of somebody that they're lifting, as an example.
Yeah, definitely. So working, obviously, aiming to pair with somebody of similar height and build, but we know that's not always possible.
Not at all.
Particularly when we're out on night shift and we've got the reduced numbers on the floor. Actually going to find the right person to help me with that manoeuvre. And of course, the taller person needing to bend their knees more, because the shorter person can't suddenly grow taller. It is that way around, unfortunately. And we need to work with the limitations, sometimes of bed heights that may not come to the height that we're hoping for. We should be working to the correct height for the shorter person. I was talking recently, I was working with you, Ian, and we were out and we were looking at some beds that they weren't raising. And there's been a big thing at the moment with people saying, beds aren't raising very high. And I'm saying, because they're low-rise beds, because we want to be able to drop them quite low, obviously their highest height isn't as high as we would love to work from. But it's really about that knuckle height, isn't it? So we were talking about a safe working height for the bed is actually my first knuckle. Is where it should be. Now, sometimes we're talking about having the bed up here, but if the bed's not reaching up here, it is safe for me to operate here. So coming down to meet that bed when we're doing our manoeuvres, really interesting talk we had. Yeah. How did you find that the learners were working with that? Was that?
Look, it's tailoring to specific need. With the different body sizes, different body shapes, it's really important that the techniques that we show we obviously do show the basic techniques, but it's being able to tailor to the individual and making sure that it works for them as well, keeps them safe.
Definitely. Okay, so to talk a little bit more about what we've been up to today, we started with this research that I've mentioned, this portfolio of evidence techniques, and we look forward to building on that. This is coming from the National Back Exchange. Carol Johnson has authored this programme that we've been doing some research for, and it may well be that we come together again and do some more research on it, or maybe that we take it away and work with some of our own teams on that. The other things we've been doing today, we've been looking at standardising within our trainer-trainer course how we support learners during that with their lesson planning and things. So hopefully if you guys out there, if we've got anybody who's been on a trainer-trainer course, please do firstly comment in the box and say hi, but secondly, if you've got questions about planning specific activities, remember of course that you can access us through Facebook to talk, or alternatively you can join us on our forum. If you don't have your forum login details, please do contact the office and they can get you on the forum. And on the forum we've got space for us to share some resources or good ideas, good activities, so that we can really start to build fantastic lessons and get our learners engaged with this subject that we're saying is so important. We can use different things to really trigger the importance. Do you guys use any video to try and kind of kick energy into doing moving and handling training?
Yes.
No?
Tend to just focus on PowerPoint, practical demonstrations, question and answer sessions, utilising different techniques, looking at the background of where people have perhaps learned different techniques and different theories, etc., rather than video-based.
Demonstration, getting people to analyse what we're doing, see, we will sometimes show things incorrectly to see if people can actually take a look at things.
Obviously nothing that would put you at risk.
Nothing that would put someone in danger. Not something that would put someone in danger.
Utilising the empty box there for that technique. It's a really interesting one to see the peer learning as well, where we talk about these techniques that maybe we've learned and have developed that aren't the right technique, or something from the past we've been taught that we think is still okay today, these controversial techniques that we would now view as controversial. Yes, there is a time and a place where I might need to use that, such as the classic line is aliens landing, but let's be totally honest, in fire evacuation, if that incident arises, then there's going to be faster moving and handling. But there's usually advice out there still. Even if we think about advice on, we've got somebody sitting in a chair and we think they're going into cardiac arrest, we've got advice on how to lower that patient safely, because I'm now using the term patient, safely to the floor so that we can start CPR. and you can get that information from the Resource Council. So there is guidance out there, and we are applying those basic principles. For me, getting those learners walking away and thinking of our key learning points, those basic principles of moving and handling. What things do you pick up to make sure your learners are walking away with?
Tend to keep your spine in line. It's one of the main ones for me. Keep your spine in line, you'll be fine.
I like it. And it's that reminding off the top of the head there as well, definitely. Any others that you guys talk about?
Again, this with spine, I mean, I always think about the spine is in a shape. And if we keep our spines in that shape, we are safe. And S really is safe.
I like it. S for spine, S for safe. Keep it in S shape. Yeah, definitely. Anything that you use?
And also, while you're practicing different techniques, it's just important to know that to keep it as safe as possible, to follow the principles that you've been taught to follow, and to make sure that any risks or hazards, obstacles are minimised or out of the way, so that you're not tripping over things, tripping over each other, etc.
Definitely.
And that you communicate well as well, and that if there's two people assisting one person to move or in a particular manoeuvre, it's about one person taking the lead and communicating well to the other person, and also the resident/patient who's been assisted to move.
Yeah, and that communication, as we're saying, is so important. We picked up on using different phrasing, utilising body language, using gestures to really encourage, firstly, the client, the person we're assisting, the patient, but also when we're talking with our colleagues, making sure that we know what the basic plan is, isn't it? Because if I don't know what the other person is up to, then it doesn't go well.
It's communication, isn't it?
Yeah.
Communicating with each other, communicating with the client, communication, just general.
Definitely. I sometimes feel, when we're doing examples and we've got two people assisting one person, you've got one person who will take the lead in that communication with the client, but at the same time, it's really important to remember the other person needs to introduce themselves. I find that one. I know we're in a training environment often, so people forget because we're in a training environment and they're not acting in their normal way, but it does amuse me, and I go, who's this person? Who's this other person standing next to me? Who's helping here? So making sure, of course, that we're still taking it seriously even in that training environment and really thinking about it. Definitely. Okay, any other points that you guys have come across maybe when we've been teaching that particular needs that we've helped out with? No?
We've spoken a lot this afternoon about lesson plans, haven't we?
We did, we did. And how to formulate those and structure those and really get sort of your smart learning objectives.
And I think when we're doing the trainer courses, people actually bring in difficulties they might have so that we can analyse them and break that down and factor that into the training as well. And that's really important. That communication is important as well.
Definitely. At the end of the day, when we're coming in to do training, be that your 3-hour session, your 6-hour session, or coming to do a trainer course, you are the people who work with those individuals. So as much as we can try and work and you give me a scenario and I'm talking you through with it, it's really important that you can sit there and say to me, okay, I can see how that would work with that person, or actually I've forgotten to mention this about this person and that's why I think that this technique wouldn't work. Is there something else that you could advise I can do so that we can really help you with that support with that individual? And if there are trainers watching, I would say again, get into the forum if you've got any specific examples that you want more information on, because we have a network of trainers. This is just 4 of our moving and handling trainers, but we also have obviously a network of moving and handling trainers. We can go out to get that sort of level of information to really support you as much as possible in your roles. If we are moving and handling practitioners and you're looking for more support, then definitely you can come on to comment on this Facebook post and we'll comment back and we can see if we can support you a bit more there. Any other points, guys, before we wrap up and start to talk about moving forwards? No? No?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. So if there's anything that's unclear, you're not certain, don't be afraid to ask. It's the intelligent thing to do.
Definitely. Well, firstly, I'd like to thank these guys for their time today. Obviously, they turned up expecting just trainer standardisation, and I went, boom, we're going to do a conversation on Facebook Live. So thanks very much to you 3. Moving forwards, of course, This video will be obviously live on Facebook still, so people can still come in and interact and comment, and we'll take a look and see if there have been any comments and comment back to you guys. But also on Monday, it's very likely that this will be put on our YouTube channel, which is the easy way for you to find our previous recordings. You can access our YouTube channel directly from our website if you go to www.elfy.training, that's ELFY training.co.uk, and up in the top corner you'll find our different social media outlets. So you'll find the Facebook button, a Twitter button, a LinkedIn button, and also our YouTube channel. So you can click in there and see the previous recordings. And thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Hope to see you soon.